My name is Dr. Melissa James. I serve as Congregational Life Field Staff with the Unitarian Universalist Association in the Pacific Western region. Today, I'd like to talk about thriving and religious education and faith formation. One of the things that I've noticed through my work as a religious educator and as field staff is that we share a common commitment to having faith formation and religious education, yet we often don't share a common vision of what thriving means. Or we'll look back and say, this is what our religious education program used to be. This is what faith formation used to be. It's not that anymore. We grieve it, which is appropriate, and then we stay there. And so, what I want to invite us to do is think about our context now and what thriving means now and today. What does it mean in each particular context? Because there's no one size fits all solution. Not every community has the same needs. Not every community have the same people and gifts to offer. And different communities have different relationships with different generations. And so religious education across the lifespan, faith formation across the lifespan can look like a lot of different things. And if we spend the time discerning what does it mean in this place right now for faith formation, religious education to thrive, then we can be visionary. Then we can start moving towards what our congregation, our movement, and our world needs today. One of the shifts we start to see when we move to a broad imagining of what thriving can look like is we start to imagine what it means for every person in our faith community, in our congregation, in our fellowship to start to thrive as a person and as a community, for every person to be engaged in figuring more out about who they are and what they value and what they believe and how that impacts the way we live together. We often call that faith formation. So when we think about thriving as a community or thriving as a congregation and faith formation, we open up a lot of possibilities for involving everyone in that process. So I love when I talk to congregations that are starting to notice where they see thriving or flourishing in their congregations. And sometimes this is a very small thing, or it feels like a very small thing, or a very, very um, one point of thriving. So noticing that the partnering with another congregation to offer OWL, our whole lives sexuality training, brought their communities together and brought people in from outside the community. Offering a grief space or an elders space to bring people together to talk about what it means to be getting older. And all of a sudden, there's new energy, and they're thriving in a new way, and our elders are feeling seen and heard. So it can be moments of that, or pieces of that, or one change to the way we do worship when we rethink about a multi-generational worship or a story for all ages. It can also be a major overhaul, or the thriving can be congregation wide as well. I think about one congregation with whom I work that looked at what was going on with their faith formation and their religious education program, looked at who they had, who was coming, how many children, but then took the next move to ask the question of what's here that we have now and what do our people need and what can we create with that. And so they moved to a model where they have what they call action Sundays every other Sunday, where they have a shortened worship service. And then people are invited to participate in a number of different rooms that have different faith formation activities and discussions. So they one week they may have letter writing for Get Out the Vote. They might have a book discussion group. They always have something multi-generational and always have something for the children. The youth and the adults might be getting together to have a conversation or play a game together. And it's revitalized the congregation, and everyone in the congregation is engaging in faith formation. So there's no one way to thrive in faith formation and religious education. This is really an invitation to dream and imagine. part of imagining and reimagining what thriving means in our context means looking at how have we measured it in the past and how might we measure or identify thriving as we move forward. That's different from that. It's very common for us to say our program was a success because X number of people came to it, or we've gotten X number more members, which are indicators, right? Those are things that tell us about how our programs are going. But there's so many different ways that we can measure thriving. Are people feeling more connected, a deeper sense of belonging? Are people telling others about this program and building energy around it? Are people feeling their own sense of faith formation and spirituality deepen? And these are hard to measure, right? You're not going to measure this in numbers, but you can start to see that in the way people interact and the way people become a part of the community. And so you start to see thriving in little ways and in larger ways of then energy creating around the whole community. So thinking creatively about how might we in this context identify what thriving even looks like beyond a question of how many people have participated. How are we individually and collectively impacted in a way that helps us grow our as people, as a community, and as a movement? So I'm going to invite you to spend some time thinking about this. And there's some questions I'm going to invite you to reflect on for your particular context. Questions we might ask are, who is here? Let's build community starting with who we have here. What are our gifts? What do our people need? And what can we imagine thriving to be for us in this time? And as you do that, I invite you to look for where that's already happening. Where are the places that you already see thriving in your congregation? And then do some dreaming.